It has been 3 months since I've joined Google, and in this video, I'm going to give you a glimpse at what's been happening throughout those 3 months behind the scenes. During my first week, I actually wasn't able to be on site. I had to do a bunch of trainings and complete some other tasks before I was even allowed to go there. So, I spent my first week doing things like setting up my computer, getting access to my corporate email, and because I relocated, I had to go and open up a new bank account. So, after a week of doing corporate trainings, finally, I got to go to the office. And one of the first things I had to do was get a temporary badge. Since the badges are all done in batches, it meant that it would take quite a while for me to get my actual badge. So, a temporary one would have to do for the moment. But here's the thing, once I got my temporary badge, I was able to go through the gates, but I wasn't able to go any further. Now usually they say that it takes about 5 to 15 minutes for the badge to kind of get itself working. But after an hour and a half, my badge still wasn't working, and I was trapped between the gates and the elevators. Now funnily enough, someone else seemed to be having the exact same issue, and so we got into talking a bit, and as it turns out, this person would be sitting right across from me and is actually on the same team as me as well. My initial plan for the first day was that I would go in early so that I would have time to find my seat and maybe grab a bite to eat before the day begins. But after going through 4 different temporary badges and having none of them work, that plan seemed to kind of fall apart a bit. So I ended up messaging my manager to let him know what was happening, and thankfully he was able to get myself and my teammate unstuck from what I can only describe as purgatory. Now, my badge still wasn't working, so I had to be pretty careful where I went because I didn't want to get myself locked out again. But thankfully, most of the things that we were doing didn't require me to leave the office, and when I did, there was always someone there with me. I spent the remainder of my first day meeting all the different teammates on site and figuring out where I would be sitting and just getting a feel for the office. Google is a massive company, and there's so many different technologies that are being used by different teams. So, for the next 3 weeks, I would be doing the Google Tech Immersion program, which is an onboarding program specifically designed to expose you to the technologies that are being used at Google internally. So, the first month was mainly just getting used to using the tech at Google. Usually there would be 1 GTI session a day, and it would take roughly 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the content. Now, something else that was happening at the same time was that there would be other sessions mainly dedicated to getting to know other people that were also new and ideally on the same site. What this means is that I spent quite a bit of time as well socializing and getting to know other people that just joined the company. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you might know that I actually relocated to the UK for this job. What this means is that I didn't actually have an apartment, and I was living in a hotel for the first month. As a result, quite a few evenings were spent going around London, looking at apartments, and figuring out where I actually wanted to end up living. I have to say, the first month was pretty overwhelming at times, because there is so much information out there that you're trying to pick up in a really short amount of time. But thankfully, everyone is very understanding of how difficult it is to do that, and people are always really willing to help, which is something that I really appreciate about Google's culture. Up until now, the second month has been the most eventful by far. I was able to fly out to the US to the main campus in Mountain View. I was completely surprised by this. So, after 2 weeks of trying to get my corporate card and getting my ESTA approved, I was able to fly out to Mountain View and meet a bunch of amazing people working on Pixel as well. And I have to say, the Mountain View campus is insane. It is massive. I remember taking one of the Google bikes and driving around the canopy, and it took me at least 2 to 3 minutes to just go around it, which to me is mind-boggling that it takes that long to go around a building on a bike. My week in Mountain View was absolutely absolutely amazing, and I met so many cool people that I can't wait to work with more. After I got back from Mountain View, the next really cool thing happened. I have now officially contributed some code to the Pixel codebase, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Now, it's nothing major, but still, I find it cool to be able to contribute something that so many people are using on a daily basis. And well, that concludes the second month. One thing that I want to mention is, throughout all of this, I have consistently been meeting new people. Internally at Google, there's a program that you can sign up for which matches you with people from different disciplines or different teams. The idea is that you just meet over an informal lunch and talk with each other. I find this social aspect really important and really enjoyable as well. Plus, it's a great way to connect with other people at Google, and it's something that I want to keep doing as long as possible. For the past month, what I've been doing is just trying to soak up as much information about the technical aspects of the product as I possibly can. At the same time, I continue to meet new people and get a better understanding of how Google works internally, not just my product area. I want to take a second to talk about the culture at Google, or at least how I've experienced it so far. What truly sticks out to me is how supportive people are. Everyone understands what it's like to be new. Everyone went through the same struggles, and everyone understands that it takes time. And as a result, people are very understanding and supportive when I ask questions or when I don't understand something. Something else that I noticed and really appreciate is how everyone that I've met so far knows that it takes time to adjust to working at a company at Google's scale, and they're more than willing to give me the space to do that adjustment and to learn for myself and figure things out. What this does is it creates an environment which allows people to learn from others because they're not scared to ask questions. It's even encouraged, and that is something that I really appreciate about Google's culture. If you watched until the end of the video, then thank you so much. It really helps out the channel, and I truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like? And if you want to see more, then feel free to hit the subscribe button. As always, if you have questions or just want to share your own experience, then drop a comment down below. Thank you again for watching. I wish you an awesome rest of the day, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.